G'day folks, my name's Simon. Today I'm going to, as you can see, we've been fishing. I'm going to give a little bit of a tutorial on filleting snapper, tips and tricks. I've been a professional fish filleter for some time over 25 years in retail, processing fish for retail. I feel I can offer some helpful tips and techniques. The method that I'm going to show you, is particular for snapper and other fish species as well, is not the only method, and I don't say it's the best method, but it's what I've learned, and it produces a good quality product as well as good recovery. And I'll go through the processes of it with you, just so you may have a better understanding on how to. First of all, the pieces of equipment for the job. I'm not an advocate for any knife manufacturers at all. I use a 6-inch boner, known in the meat industry as 6-inch boner. It's for the filleting aspect. It's firm, short, you can control it. For the skinning aspect of it, I use a longer Victory skinning knife, Diogenes. A lot of them make good knives. Alright. So folks, here's an example of a filleted snapper. What I want to do is show you the cuts and why we do them. Okay, so a snapper has the flesh finishes close around here. So our first cut goes from there into there. Our knife turns and follows down the backbone. The reason we go down the backbone is, as you can see, all the spines go that way. If we're to cut this way, we're cutting against them and we're fighting the spines, okay? So our first cut goes in here, down this side of the backbone. Okay, our second cut comes up here, and there's a little trick to this. Comes up to here. A lot of people can go through there and take that. But what we do is we tilt our knife a little bit and we cut through these pin bones here, okay? And that allows us to be able to go over the stomach here, then down and accessing that particular part of it to this side to there, okay? That's what we call our forehand cut. And then on the other side, it's the same, but it's as a backhand cut. Goes down there, that side. Once again, hold the fish up, tilt your knife a little bit, go up, you will get the pin bones. If you want to, you can cut down to there, and then that other cut down to there. Okay, and I'll just show you on another fish. So in here, tilt it towards the head, turn your knife, run it flat along the backbone. You can see there that the knife's just sitting there like that. Here's, I've come to that area there. I'm going to tilt a little bit, tilt my knife. There, got it there. And you just run down there, to that other one there, and then if you want to, you can cut across to there, and you just work over that backbone there, and there it is. Other side, backhand, tilt it back to there, down. Okay, so skinning, once again, so this is a tutorial for snapper, okay? This is how I do it. Skinning, generally use a long flexible knife, so often if the fillets are getting bigger, like on a fish this size, you've got the whole part to skin. Okay, you can hold your fingers there, just start your knife in little saw motions, hold them, little saw motions, holding that angle down on the bench, little saw motions. See, with my backhand, I'm doing both. Okay, I'm pulling, there you go. Same again, hold it down there, little saw motions. See, little saw motions, get to there, hold it, bang. Okay, and I'm just going to show you, a lot of people bone from the other side, but I bone from this side. There's a reason for that. If I run my finger against the bone here, I can feel each of the little bones there. I can feel them, they're pointing up that way, so I know where to start, which is there. And they kind of curve a little bit, like that, there and there, bang. Trim off the excess, same again on that other side. Boom. No waste. Just remember, when you're learning, speed's not your friend, technique is your friend. Speed will come later. If you get a good technique going, take your time, get those cuts correct. No bones in there. All the bones, the rib bones, are left on the cage there, like that. Easier to do with the stomach in. That's the recovery of the flesh that you should get. Once again, skinning. Start little saw motions. Bang. we trim off the little bits and the little bits on the side. Take the middle bone out. There's 14 bones in there, in snapper anyway. If you're having trouble skinning and your knife's probably a bit sharp and it's cutting through the skin, there's a little trick you can use to help you, and that's I'll show you in a minute. I'll just finish boning these out. You see, I don't push too hard down. You're sliding around, and you're sliding around the knife. You're not forcing too hard, and you're not tending to cut through the bone. Okay, and your knife will stay sharper for longer. Once again, you can feel them there. Well, nice product. And if you are struggling, your knife's a little bit sharp and it's cutting through the skin, when you're sharpening your skinning knife, the side that sits flat down here gets stroked on that side twice, and what it does is gives a little curve on your blade, and it'll prevent you from cutting. You can put more pressure downwards and it'll prevent you from cutting through the skin, and it'll help you skin. Just a little trick, that one.
Which side was it?
On the side that the knife goes down. Okay, on that side there. So when you're stroking that side, which is this side here, once and then twice on that side, and that'll give you a slight curve, duller on that underside, so you can put more pressure down. Well, as you can see, we've had a bit of fun fishing today, and I've been meaning to share that with you to see, you know, it may help, it may not. Hopefully I can in the future do the other species as well, and share some more tips and tricks with you. Cheers for that.